Once upon a time, the creators of the Disney franchise thought it would be a good idea to slip in some very naughty aspects to our beloved childhood stories. Looks like it isn't a happy ending after all. Here are 10 Disney scenes that would be banned today. Pinocchio. First there was lying, and then came good old cigar smoke. This is taking a whole new level for the puppet's famous tune, "I've got no strings to hold me down." The message you can conclude from this Pinocchio is smoke, lie, and accept no responsibilities. Perhaps our moral of this entry is to think twice before exposing this type of content to kids. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Here's another old-time favorite involving a crime-solving storyline. Let's face it, how could we forget the Angelina Jolie-esque character Jessica Rabbit? The lady in red has been characterized to have an even fiercer attitude than women like Beyonce or Kim Kardashian. Who would have thought the cartoon character would have so much prowess? But looking back, do you remember something missing in this scene? Yes, that would definitely be her underwear in this image. Talk about an animated scandal. Mulan. There is nothing more riveting than seeing our kick-ass warrior Mulan prove that women are unstoppable, no matter what society says. But even heroines succumb to uncomfortable situations that lead to the over-sexualization women have to experience on a frequent basis. In fact, in this situation, Mulan ends up in an awkward scenario where her own companion, Mushu, makes an inappropriate comment. "My powers are beyond your mortal imagination," he says. For instance, "My eyes can see straight through your armor." That was a discussion that had no reason to be applied to the movie, especially if this was a movie that recognized female empowerment. Toy Story. Remember that really aggressive kid from Toy Story, Sid? That's right, Andy's neighbor, who is the only one who claims the toys can talk. Well, one of his memorable works of art involved a pair of sexy legs attached to a hook. In other words, a hooker. This sounds more borderline creepy and uncomfortable for adults to watch with their children. Perhaps the toy should have been given a second thought, as there's a time and a place for everything. Monsters, Inc. In this Monsters, Inc. scene, here's a little scandal that took awkward to a whole new level. Here you have an adorable and furry Sully waiting to spook a child. What can be perceived as even stranger is if you take a closer look to find the drawing right beside the doorway. Are you thinking what we're thinking? That is correct. The child's Uncle Roger and Mummy are both in a very compromising position. There's no easy way out of this one, ladies and gentlemen, especially for those two. The Little Mermaid. Here's our favorite Little Mermaid, hanging out in pure human form, acting as natural as she can. But really, if Ariel wanted to be a part of the human world, she wouldn't have needed to smoke a pipe. The fish out of water misrepresents what it's like to be human, and gives kids the wrong idea on how to fit in. Besides, wasn't she looking forward to long walks on the beach and reading? That definitely took a turn. We wonder what her dear friend Sebastian would have said. Fantasia. This musical film came out in the 1940s, and was praised for the orchestral efforts from the Philadelphia Orchestra. However, there was also criticism due to the controversy evoked in certain scenes throughout the storylines. The creators used a dark-skinned Sauntret to be servant of the white Sauntret, insinuating racial stereotypes. In the 21st century, scenes like this are not okay, especially since it encourages discrimination. Even more reason to be shocked, slavery was abolished on December 18, 1865 in America. It's almost as if these efforts were completely forgotten, and the writers had missed the memo. Cinderella. The Disney princess that little girls grow up to be in hopes to find their Prince Charming one day. However, this fairy tale involves a scene that doesn't look so charming at all. Notice that Jack is pulling large pearls out of Gus's backside? There's no problem with the idea of exploring your sexuality and keeping things interesting in the bedroom. But aren't kids a bit too young to witness that kind of behavior? Especially when it involves cute talking mice. Alice in Wonderland. Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland was brought to life on the screen by Disney in 1951. However, theories have been made that Alice in Wonderland was a story to depict drug use and its effect through Carroll's eyes. One may identify and support such a theory during Alice's tea party with the Mad Hatter. After having copious amounts of sugar, Alice then experiences a rush that is associated with hallucinations caused by drug consumption. Even though kids might not realize it, parents did. Hercules. To end on a comedic note, consider us lucky for getting the joke from Hercules, even if we know it's actually inappropriate for our kids to be exposed to. In this scene, after a mythological centaur gets bumped on the head, the injury takes form of a phallic object emphasized around the horseshoe. Looks like the illustrator was having a little too much fun, or rather, a whole lot of it. Got any Disney movie moments you think should be banned? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Taco.